One of the dumbest things I've been hearing recently is that Kwesi Arthur fell off, which doesn't make any sense, and I'll tell you why. Kwesi Arthur is one of the most waited on artists we have ever had in Ghana. What do I mean by that? We also how the entire country was eagerly anticipating the Iron Boy album, right? Which, by the way, I'll make a review of in another video, so follow me or whatever. Anyway, that is what it means to be waited. It is to have a large majority of the music listening population begging you to drop something. And when it drops, they immediately run it up. Only a handful of artists have been able to achieve this level of influence within the past 2 decades. 1 Sarkodie, 2 Kwesi Arthur, 3 Black Sherif. Honorable mentions include Kweku Smoke and O Kenneth. Now I say honorable mention because even though they command influence, they are still not there at the level of the 3 artists I mentioned, but the potential is still there. Akakra. Now let's focus on Sark, Kwesi, and Blacko, but mainly Kwesi. All these 3 artists make the same genre of music. They are all hip-hop artists, but they all do it so differently. They do it in a way that takes music culture to a different level. When Sarkodie came out, no one was rapping like him. But then Sarkodie understood one thing. What he was doing was beyond the music. So it wasn't by chance that even though rap was the staple then and everyone was rapping, Sarkodie stood out, dominated, and rose to the top, and continues to remain there till this. So while his colleagues were busy rapping, Sarkodie realized the importance that music serves to the culture of a people and the role that artists play in shaping this culture. Because if there's one thing we have all learned from social studies, it is that culture is dynamic. And who do you think is responsible for this dynamism of culture? Artists. And when I say artists, I don't mean just musical artists. Architects, clothes designers, movie directors, basically anyone who imagines and comes up with things and creates things is an artist. And these are the people who shape culture. Sarkodie understood that thing. So what did he do? He started experimenting. He'd dress a certain type of way. He'd rap on different types of beats. His music videos would look a certain type of way. And a direct result of this was that people started wanting to be like Sarkodie. That's influence. When I was in high school, there was a haircut known as the Sarkodie haircut. That's influence. There was a dance known as the Sarkodie dance. That's influence. That is exactly why Sarkodie said this. This didn't just affect the music listeners, it affected people who wanted to rap as well. Everyone who wanted to rap wanted to sound like Sarkodie, and it just doesn't work that way. You can't be a clone of someone and expect to blow. Why do you think it took so long for any rapper to blow up after Sarkodie? I mean, there was Joey, Papi, Kofi Kinata, EL, but none of them ever attained the same level of influence that Sarkodie had attained until 8 friggin' years later. I mean, shout out to Joey and Papi. The potential was there. They did something, but I feel like they could have gone harder. 8 years after Sarkodie, there shows up Kwesi Arthur with the same agenda. And how does he push this agenda? This guy shows up shirtless in his music videos, wearing nothing but a pair of black trousers and a pair of Vans sneakers, and drinking Gary soakings. Dude, since you were born, have you ever seen a rapper present himself that way? It was insane. It was different. It was incredible. It was fresh. It was raw. No one had ever seen anything like that. Traditional hip-hop videos show us that rappers must look a certain way, right? They must dress a certain way. They must have all these big-ass chains on. But Kwesi Arthur did none of that. This guy showed up shirtless. And he was drinking motherfucking Gary. This guy would pull up on stage to perform. And he would be drinking Gary on Shatade. Dude, do you realize how insane that was? Ghanaians were livid. Every youth in the country was like, nigga, that's me. The youth is synonymous with struggle in this country. So for them to see Kwesi appear how he appeared, they saw a symbol of that struggle, and it resonated with them so much. And Kwesi was presenting his art in a way that had never been done before. He was rapping differently. He was weaving his pain into beautiful melodies. He was rapping from his heart. He was saying exactly how he felt. And this led to a chain of cultural events that gave birth to so many styles and talents. From the seed that was planted, we got Asaka and we got Black Sherif. That is influence. And also don't forget that the same way we got Sarkodie clones, we also got Kwesi Arthur clones along the way. And it's the same thing that is happening with Black Sherif now. From how he's rapping, to how he's dressing, to his album rollout, to his marketing. It's all engineered. He understands the purpose of what he's doing. He understands that it goes beyond the music. He's influencing the next generation. But more on that in another video. Kwesi represented something that had never been represented. So now it became cool to say exactly how you feel in your music. It became cool to be different. It became cool not to conform with something that had already been done. People started styling their hair in the same way as Kwesi. And that is exactly the reason why Kwesi Arthur can never fall off. If you think he did, go and check when he made the announcement last year that he was going to drop This Is Not the Tape 3. The numbers were crazy. Everyone on Twitter was going crazy. Even though the general public opinion on his last album, Son of Jacob, was that it wasn't good, which I don't really get because I really love that album. That album is, hey, Mumbi Masuna Muti's album, the Son of Jacob. It's crazy. Yeah, so even though the general opinion was that, oh, it wasn't a good album, they are still waiting to hear what he has to say next. And that is why the whole internet went crazy last year when he announced he was going to drop that EP. And that is why people were kind of bugged that the album wasn't instantly available everywhere on DSPs, that had to go through some process be to pay and get it exclusively. And also, side note, I think the reason why people are saying Son of Jacob was bad was because they waited for it for way too long. And that is exactly the point I'm trying to make in this video. They waited on it for way too long. That is influence, nigga. The fact that you waited for it alone, it's not easy. You guys should put some respect on the names of our artists. They are really trying for you guys. Anyway, everything I've just said in this video is like a general overview. There's a documentary I worked on with a couple of friends that covers it in detail. The name of the page is Compound House Network. Go right there, follow it, and watch the video. That's a documentary on why Ghanaians keep waiting on Kwesi Arthur. It's bonkers, it's crazy. There's more coming up on that page. Also, big up to all those artists who dare to be different, but Ghanaians, guy level, and Drew Hall to be able to appreciate their art. And that is why Black Hole is so important, okay? As well as Kwesi Arthur, they are pushing the culture forward to a level where our taste buds evolve to be more sophisticated so that we'll be able to appreciate diverse forms of art. Artists like Bosom Pyong, B for Bona, Dark Suburb, One Love, and Mensa, and a host of other artists who were never able to really achieve mainstream success because our collective artistic taste buds were primitive, to say the least. All of that is going to change soon because now we have friggin' members of parliament and veteran actors vibing to Black Coast music. We are living in crazy times. Also, notice how it didn't take 8 years after Kwesi blew up for us to get another cultural shifter. It took just 3. As it stands now, everyone is going to lose their minds when Kwesi announces the next album.